It's Wednesday, January 30th. I'm Wayne Moore. This is Evening Update. At the top of the news is expected gas prices starting to jump in the Okanagan. One day after GasBuddy.com's Dan McTagg said there were signs prices would jump as much as 10 cents a litre by Thursday, Castanet readers spotted costs of $121.9 a litre at the Petrocan and Shell stations on Highway 33 in Kelowna. One Shell station in West Kelowna was also at $121.9. That's a 12-cent a litre increase. As people across the country take up the conversation around mental health, Kelowna philanthropist Tom Budd took to the airwaves to relate his story. Budd's two sons both committed suicide in his home a few years apart. Both bodies he discovered. He's been telling his story in hopes it resonates with others in distress.
Last year, 4 people said I saved their life because they were suicidal. One person in particular heard this radio show or TV show that we were doing, and he was suicidal, and he was thinking of killing himself until he saw Tom Budd, this icon investment banker, crying and being vulnerable. And the next day I had an email from him saying, "Hey, you saved my life, you met me years ago." And he went and confessed to his wife, broke down in tears, and went and got counseling.
A Lumbee man jailed for second-degree murder has lost his appeal. Howard Cruson admitted to shooting and killing Linda Marie Stewart on her Trinity Valley farm near Lumbee, where they were both living in June of 2014. However, Cruson said at the time he was so intoxicated he lacked any intention to cause her death. The key issue at trial was his intention at the time of the shooting. Police and search and rescue volunteers in Merritt continue to search for missing cowboy, who's now been identified as 32-year-old Ben Tyner. Volunteers from across the province have offered assistance in the search after a riderless horse was found Monday afternoon by loggers in the area. Local ranchers retrieved the horse and were able to identify its owner. Now, an update on a story Castanet brought you Tuesday about Mary Whitehouse's search for information on her long-lost brother James. The last information she had was from 1961 at Hanson's Funeral Chapel in Kelowna. Well, after the story was posted, several Castanet readers reached out with information or offers of help. One person was even able to locate her father's death certificate. You can read the complete story on Castanet. A man who avoided arrest for 3 years was sentenced Wednesday to jail for a break-and-enter and assault in an attempt to abduct his infant daughter. Mitchell Joseph Racine pleaded guilty to single counts of breaking and entering and assault. He failed to appear for sentencing on charges in 2015 and was on the lam for 3 years before he was finally arrested recently in Alberta on other charges. A Penticton man is serving house arrest after punching a fellow construction worker at the Penticton Regional Hospital worksite last year. Derek Wilson Allies pleaded guilty to 1 count of assault Wednesday in provincial court in Penticton. Allies was immediately fired by his supervisor for the incident, which was apparently due to his inability to afford medication for mental health issues. Vernon's Hurlburt Park will close for construction next week. Redevelopment work will begin Monday and wrap up in late spring, with a plan to reopen the improved park later this year. The province is launching a project aimed at reducing the number of overdose deaths by inmates recently released from correctional facilities. A coroner's death review panel last year found about 2/3 of BC residents who died of an illegal drug overdose over a 19-month period had recent contact with the criminal justice system. 5 new community transition teams have been set up in Surrey, Prince George, Kamloops, Nanaimo, and Port Coquitlam to help people with opioid use disorders get treatment. Okanagan weather, clouds should begin rolling in later this evening. Expect overnight lows to -1. Clouds with a 30% chance of flurries Thursday, highs to +1. Coming up tonight and tomorrow, an update on Kelowna's cannabis retail situation. And brace yourselves, double-digit freezing temperatures are on the way. For details on these and the rest of the day's news, keep it here at castanet.net. For Castanet News, I'm Wayne Moore.